Everybody, and welcome back. In the previous video, we had implemented our authentication provider as well as registered it within the widget tree of our Flutter application. And now any of the widgets that are underneath of our material app or the material app itself now have access to our authentication provider. But before we can implement any other functionality to our authentication provider, I think it's prime time for us to actually implement a defined structure for how a user in our application is going to be presented and how this user will translate to information that's present inside of our Firestore database as well. So with that said, let's get into the video and let's see how we're going to be doing this. So what I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to, inside of my lib folder, create a new folder, and I'm going to call this models. So this folder is going to contain all of our models class, and our model class are just going to be classes which are going to be responsible for actually kind of modeling data within our application. So the first class that we're going to be creating is going to be our chat user class. So I'm going to create a new file and I'm going to call this chat_user.dart. So this is going to be the, let's just say, the de facto representation of a user inside of our application. So this would be the user that we're going to be logged in as. These are going to be the other users inside of our application. It's just a wraparound class, which is just responsible for creating different instances of the different users that we have inside of our application. So I'm going to create this class and I'm going to call this class chat user. And the user, just the reason why we're using chat user, not just the user name for our user class, is for the fact that that's already taken by Firebase. I don't want to cause any confusion, so I just decided to name it chat user just to avoid trouble. The first thing that we need is that we need a UID for our user. So this will be the unique ID that is provided to us by Firebase once a user is created. We are also going to have the name of the user. So there we go. We've added a variable for that. We'll also have another variable which will store the email of our user. We'll also have a variable which will store the image URL. And then finally we'll have a late date time variable which will store the last active date for our user as well. With this, the next thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to create the constructor for our class. And then I'm going to make sure that all of the arguments that get passed into this constructor are named arguments. That's why I've added the curly brackets. And I'm going to say that we're going to have a required argument, which is going to be this dot, and then we're going to say UID. Then similar to this, we'll have required this dot name. We'll have required this dot email. We'll have required this dot image URL. And then we'll also have required this dot last active. And once that is done, the next thing that I'm going to do is that I'm going to do command save and just make sure that our application works as intended. Once that is done, I'm also going to create a factory method, which is going to allow us to, instead of taking these default parameters that we require to our constructor, take in a JSON document, and then it's going to take that JSON document, it's going to extract the keys from it and put them in their respective different variable or properties that we have for our class. So this factory method is going to be chat user. So a factory method always starts with the name of the class followed by a dot and then whatever we're going to call our factory method. So I'm going to say from JSON, and I'll just have capital, and then inside of here I'll say that we'll get a map which will have string and dynamic. So that means that we'll have a map which will have the keys of type string, and then the values for those keys will be dynamic, which means anything, and then it'll be underscore JSON, and then we'll open our factory constructor, and our factory constructor expects us to return an instance of the class for which it is factory constructor of. So in this case we have to return a chat user. So I should do chat user, and that pretty much would fix that error. And now what we're going to do is that we're just going to say that from our JSON we are going to take the UID key, and then we'll put this for the UID. For the name it'll be the same, so JSON and the name. For the email it'll be the same, it'll be JSON and then email, and then we'll have underscore JSON and then our image. And then for last active we'll take underscore JSON last underscore active, and then to that we'll call the toDate function on it. And then we know that the last active thing that gets returned to us is going to be a timestamp. So that's why we can safely call the toDate function on it, and then add a semicolon at the end, do Alt-Shift-F, and do Command Save, and we are good to go. Once this is done, I'm going to be adding another function to our class, and this function is going to be a function that can return a map representation of our class and then I'm going to call this toMap. And then inside of here, what we'll do is that we'll just return a key value pair, where we'll just return a map representation of our class. So name will be name, last active will be last active. So just let me take this last active, and then the image URL will be image URL. And that's pretty much all we have to do. I'm going to add a semicolon at the end and do Command Save. With this, I'm going to add 2 utility messages to our classes as well. The first is going to be a utility message which will return to us a string, which will be the last day active. And inside of here, I'm just going to return a string. So I'm going to say $. Inside of our string, I'll take our last active and I'll extract the month from it. And then after that, followed by a /, and then I'll just copy this line again and paste it in. And this time, instead of taking last active month, I'm going to take last active day. And then I'm going to copy this whole section again, I'll paste it again. And now instead of taking day, we'll take a year, and then finally add a semicolon, and this will just return a string to us in the form of the month, followed by the day, followed by the year, for whatever the last active daytime timestamp state was. And the last and final utility method that we're going to be adding to our class is going to be a Boolean. And this is going to be a function that'll tell us if the user was recently active or not. And I'm just going to call it was recently active. And then what we're going to do is that we're going to say we're going to return datetime dot now. So we're going to take the time that's currently on the device, and then we're going to take the difference of the time that right now is on the device and the last active time, and then from that we'll convert that to be in hours. And if it's less than 2 hours, that means the user was recently active, and we'll return true, else we'll return false, and I'll do Command Save for that as well. So that's pretty much all either the methods that we require inside of the class or the features that we require for our chat user class. So with that, I'm going to close this class up. I'm going to end this video here. And now in this next video, we are actually going to be going back to the Firebase sides of things and actually kind of registering a user manually inside of Firebase, and then actually implementing the functionality inside of our authentication provider class so that we can actually log in to our application. So with that, thank you for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks again.